What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. I've had a lot of questions over my Hunter 1-pop build is this a viable build for outside in the open world, missions and things like that? It absolutely is. That build was very specific to, me getting that Hunter dead in heroic and in one shot, but I've got a few changes to that build and I'm going to do a little bit of a gameplay demo and then I'll go over the build. There are two builds that you can do this with. One is actually a Hunter's Fury variant, and if you really want to see that, let me know in the comments down below and I'll post that as well. So with all that said though, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe and consider joining the channel, and let's get straight into the action. You know, when I watch people fly around with this, like, it's just so good. I mean, we got all of them in one shot. That's a really nice shot for the video.
Incoming hostiles detected.
And that's it, you know, the better you can get them, you know, in the doorways, you know, and things like that, the better you'll do crazy things. I keep getting this story thing pop up at the bottom. That must be a bug right now. I wonder what if we can doorway them in Lincoln Memorial. I think this was kind of the way everybody used to run this for speedrunning Lincoln. Alright, let's see if we can get them all in a room at the top of the steps here for a bit of fun.
Secure the memorial and remove the True Sons forces. They maintain this outpost. The True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Did that guy just die? I mean, that was just, that's the money shot right there. That's exactly what this can do, you know, if you're good enough at getting them in group together and in doorways, you can do really big damage. Yeah, alright, that's a good enough example. And what we'll do, we'll nip back to the base operations. You'll get my email ping in the background just to make you think you've got yourself an email. And yeah, we'll go through the build. There's no point dragging the footage out too much. Like I said, this is nothing new. I'm just doing it because I was asked a lot in the comments, you know, what you're doing, how are you doing it. So this is one of two builds. I'll probably post the other one if this one gets enough traction as well. So Gunner, literally for survivability, armor on kill, and every reload's 50% faster, and that's kind of it, right? Because rate of fire and ammo doesn't matter because we're using the pistol. Just make sure you spec into the pistol. That's what's important here. Okay, so as for the build itself, this is the build. Now, there's a million different ways you can do this, and like I said, there's a Hunter's Fury version. You can even build this very differently. The reason I build it like this, with this missing mod here that I've got, is because the memento is just really good for open world stuff, especially if you are soloing. So we're going to put a headshot mod in here because we've just been running without one, which is great. Now, a few options that you do have here before we get into the actual specifics here is if you didn't want to run the memento, the obvious choice would be the gift, and just make sure that you use the shield at all times, because that way then you'll never lose the vigilance buff. And this would be the piece that I would use. That then would let you use the Dodge City Gunslinger's holster, which is great because it has headshot damage and weapon handling, and it gives you a very powerful first shot. So if you're finding that your build's not quite powerful enough, you can't get the whole bonuses kind of going, you're not one tapping, you know, this is maybe what you need to start the shot off, that one really big powerful shot that's definitely going to kill something, you know, maybe kill a purple, and then start moving on to your one tapping your elites. Maybe this is the way around that you need to go. But this was the way I kind of found was better for me, open world, and with enough survivability as well. The memento's just great, and with the 10% armor on kill from Gunner as well, it just means I don't have to worry about any other kind of regen anywhere else. You could go like a bloodsucker backpack as well if you really wanted to. That would work. So perhaps like a Providence bloodsucker backpack, that would give you a lot of bonus armor, and that would work really well as well. This is just nice because we obviously get the yellow core for the big shield, and we get the blue core just you know, for survivability and regen. And obviously then we get the extra weapon damage when we start stacking up. And, you know, the memento is no slouch. It's really, really good. So that's the memento. Gun-wise, roll whatever you want. Obviously, having the Regulus is kind of the key here. But you could run a D50, perhaps. If you wanted to go determined routes, you could do as well. You could put Optimist on a D50 if you wanted to as well, if you didn't want to go cheesy with determined. But other ones I would definitely say would be maybe like the Liberty is a really good shout as well. That's got really high base damage. That can do a lot of damage if you level it up with expertise as well. So you've got a few options, but really you want to be aiming for the Regulus. Mask is pretty easy to go with because we use a DNH because we get 20% pistol damage, weapon damage, 20% headshot damage, weapon handling and headshot damage. Make sure it's the punch drunk, pretty easy to pick up in countdown. Chest piece, this one's really hard to pick up. It's the HG chest. It gives you 15% weapon damage, weapon handling, headshot damage and headshot damage with Headhunter. If you can't pick this bad boy up, there's actually almost no difference whatsoever between this one and the Chain Killer. Either or here will work absolutely fine. The reason I use the HG chest is because I have a lot of builds that use the 2-piece HG for the buffed 20% marksman rifle damage. It's got a 5% buff in TU20, making the per a really, really nice set if you're using, you know, something like an M700. So that's why I use this here, but a Chain Killer will do, you know, exactly the same job for you here, and Chain Killer is much easier to pick up. Again, really easy to pick up. We've got Contractor's Gloves with headshot damage. It gives damage to armor. Really, really nice. Fox's Pros, again, really easy to pick up just with headshot damage and damage to target out of cover. Really nice. And then for the holster, because we're not using a Providence anywhere else, it just makes sense to run a Providence because we get 15% headshot damage from the one-piece bonus. Headshot damage and weapon handling. So all in all, if we went over to our pistol, you can see we're rocking 240% headshot damage. The crit doesn't make any difference whatsoever. 8% armor damage, and we know we've also got damage to target out of cover. If I flicked over to my M700, if you wanted to use it in kind of an emergency, you can see you've got a huge 251% headshot damage, meaning that you are going to proc Headhunter still, and its biggest bonus. So if you really need to get yourself out of a bind or something's just too far away, get yourself in cover, you can switch to the M700 or the White Death or whatever your sniper of choice is nowadays. There's a lot of good ones nowadays. The SR1's even pretty decent. But that's going to be it for the build. Like I said, nothing terribly new here. If this video does get enough traction, or if you tell me in the comments down below you want to see the Hunter's Fury version, I'll upload that as well. But yeah, open world activities, you know, heroic with it, throw a few directives on, go into Summit with a few directives. This build's going to absolutely smash it. Like I said, it's just all about if you want to do the determined version, or if you want to go hardcore Regulus version. This is probably the one to get used to. Determined, perfect determined's already been fixed, right? So regular determined is probably going to get fixed as well at some point. I'm surprised it didn't happen with Project Resolve, but I guess we will see. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and consider joining the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, agents.